What's up, guys? It's Rick Ginn here with Flip with Rick. And you guys know what Friday is. I am solo. So you guys know on Thursday, I'm with Zach, and Zach does the other lives. And we have I'm not going to even say it's a fun topic, but we're talking about why you don't need to get your real estate license specifically for wholesaling. Okay. So let me just start out right off the bat. I am not here to pick on licensed real estate agents and brokers. For the record, my wife is one. Okay. I don't have a beef. I don't have anything with it. Just wholesalers are not real estate agents. I don't want to be trained as a real estate agent. I don't want to know how a real estate agent operates their stuff. It's none of my business. I've been doing wholesaling for 20 years without a real estate license. And listen, I get it. I know what's trying to be accomplished here. So we're going to take 2 hours today, and we are going to talk about everything. So I'm open to listening to both sides. But I'm telling you guys, I started in 2002, 2003, and I was told I needed to get a license. And here I am 20 years later. I don't even tell you what, if I added up the math, if I did everything everybody told me to do, be a licensed real estate agent, I don't know that I would be as successful as I am now. So we're going to talk about it. I'm going to go on about 20, 30 minutes. I'm going to do a pros and cons. Okay. I'm going to give both sides of the argument. And then you guys put in your questions. I'm happy to answer them. Let's have a fun discussion. Once I go into the Q&As, we can talk about this topic, but really anything wholesaling, honestly, anything real estate investing. I love wholesaling. I love real estate investing. And I've been doing it 20 years. And I just love this business. So those of you who don't know me, my name is Rick Ginn, AKA Dad. My son is Zach. He's been doing the business 5 years. I taught him when he was starting out 16, 17, while he was in high school, how to make his first $100,000, and he's never looked back. And I'm here to share the exact same information with you that for some reason, everybody holds captive and says you have to pay a price. You have to have skin in the game to learn the game. Well, I'm telling you here, you don't. You absolutely don't. We have thousands of people doing deals. I never take your credit card. I'm never going to ask you for a check. There is no payment. The only fee is your time, and you share the show on people that have a genuine interest in wholesaling. I believe wholesaling is like learning your ABCs. It should be free. It is the most fundamental sport in real estate investing, and you need to know it if you want to be in this game. If you start on other ones, it will throw you off. If you start out being a real estate agent and then try to become a wholesaler, I promise you it's going to throw you off. It doesn't mean you can't do it. But if you guys are just here and you have an interest in wholesaling, you're in the right place. I know you're getting inundated. Get your license, get your license. I'm telling you right now, we are going to discuss this in depth today. So, guys, use the comments. Everybody is like-minded here for the most part. Everybody's here with good intentions. If you have something negative or something ridiculous to say, it just gets deleted and we move on. We just don't have time for it. Life's too short. We all need to help and lift each other up. And guys, use this time. Ask the questions. It's 100% free, 2 hours. You guys should demand much more live stuff because live it's authentic, it's free, and it's the best way to interact with anybody that you value in the wholesaling space. So now, if you guys are new here, do me a favor, go to freewholesaling.com. Me and Zach put up a free wholesaling course. I think we've had it up for, we're approaching a year, but it is the #1 downloaded used course on wholesaling today. And I promise you, there's no upgrades. It's free. Guys, there's no more secrets to this business. Anybody tells you a secret, anyone has to put you through a ridiculous phone interview is just getting into your back pocket. It's a basic thing. I'm telling you, says, oh, you can't learn everything from YouTube. I'm here to tell you, you can learn wholesaling from 25 years experience between me and Zach. And here's the other thing is, it is our primary form of income. We do not do coaching and do revenue. Yes, we do affiliate sales, but we provide you training, tutorial, and honestly, we only endorse stuff we use in our business. So feel free. I'm not owned by any of these companies. I have no stock in them. I have no buy-in. They are 100% on their own. We just like to use companies that makes our lives easier and your lives easier. So go to freewholesaling.com. The next order, today is Friday. And okay, everybody's kind of piling in. We'll do that. You've got to get a certain level of intensity when you do wholesaling. And I can't describe it other than really just kind of doing it one way. Guys, take this video, run it, make it your alarm clock, get pumped up. I love when you guys get jumping up and down, dancing. We had some real fun with this yesterday. And guys, you know what I'm saying? Check it out.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, and they got go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up. Get up.
Guys, that's the energy you need. So I love that video because it kind of best describes how me and Zach look at wholesaling. Number one, we love to make tons of money. We love to help people out. And most importantly, if you're not having fun wholesaling, don't do it, guys. It's not as torturous as all these people out there and just, you know, everything's mechanical. You got to do this. Like, I like to have fun people I like to enjoy. And the reason I do wholesaling, the number one reason is freedom. Okay. I don't want to spend 80 hours a week over a desk, stressing myself out, trying to do a million things, having a million people work for me. I did it when I was younger. I'm just telling you, you've got to define your why and why you do wholesaling. If you want financial freedom and freedom to spend time with your loved ones, your family, your friends, I'm telling you right now, money is very important and it will solve a lot of problems in your life. But if you don't have time to spend with your family, your friends, whoever you want to do it, you can't get that back. You cannot buy it. I'm telling you, I'm 52 right now. I'm making every minute, every day count. And the reason I do it is for wholesaling. So without further ado, guys, put in your questions. I like to try to take them in as order as I can. I'm going to go through a little Q&A, not a Q&A. I'm going to go through the pros and cons of everything on getting your license. Honestly, I think I'm a good person to speak on this subject because, number one, I own a brokerage. Full disclosure, I own a brokerage, and I'm speaking out against the getting your license model, and I'm going to tell you why, okay? You got a lot of people getting ready to get in your back pocket, okay? You all know what happens when people push fear. You got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. And then you go to the remedy to find out the remedy, you will be hooked on it for the rest of your life, and you'll be constantly feeding it to try to stay in the right. And I'm going to show you how it works and ways that you can make decisions to help it out. So let me jump in here. I promise you, I'm more into the discussion. You guys know I love the Q&A more than the teaching. So I might have to shock you and wake you up occasionally here. But guys, put in your questions. I'll try to answer some of them as going, but I'll probably just go through my points and then just go right in the QA. We'll have fun like the last hour and a half. We'll have a lot of fun. So let's talk about it. Real estate. Let me get the other banner off here. I don't want to distract you guys. That's a little much. That's a little much. Okay, so freewholesaling.com. If you guys are new to it, 100% free course. Real estate license, state requirements. I want you to understand when people are saying, hey, you got to get your real estate license, we're talking at the state level, okay? The state has this beautiful thing. It's called a license, okay? Doesn't matter if it's a driver's license, a fishing license, real estate license, you know, whatever other types. I mean, there's a million licenses. You know, they have like beauty licenses now, okay? The states figured out this really cool tactic, whereas they take a right away from you and then they sell it back to you. And if you don't comply, you get fines. You get penalties, and you could possibly even have a criminal element to it if you habitually break it. So I get it. Like, there's certain things you do need a license for. Like, I'm all for a driver's license, although it still has a lot of flaws. You guys see a lot of people 90 years old driving a car that shouldn't be driving a car, but they have a license. Okay. The idea of a license, it prevents like a 6-year-old kid driving a car and like wiping out people. I'm all for that. Okay. In my opinion, licenses have gone too far. Okay. Most licenses are used just to raise funds for the state. One of the problems I'm going to tell you on the real estate license is it's definitely got a huge catch. So we're talking at the state requirement. Now, 48 states on the mainland here, they all 48 have different rules. Okay. So theoretically, for you to get a real estate license and you want to do it virtually, if you do 12 states, you're going to have to go through this process 12 different times. Occasionally, there's a reciprocity with some of the states. I don't know them. I don't want to know them, and I don't care. Okay. If they had one master license, I might be a little bit more open to this. But can you imagine getting 48 licenses, the amount of fees and stuff you would have? It would be ridiculous. There's no way you would ever, that would be your job. So, so we're talking at the state requirement. So I'm going to run through. This is a majority of about 80% of the states. Some of them are a little bit different. Don't call me out if I didn't hit your state correctly, but I'm just going to give you what the premise of most of the states, because I've researched them. So roughly on hour, you're going to have to learn 60 hours of real estate agent training. Okay. Remember, you're a wholesaler. So if I get this license, I'm doing it to keep big government off my back and be compliant. Here's the problem. Do you want to spend 60 plus hours learning how to be a real estate agent? There is absolutely no benefit to you as a wholesaler with this education. The word education is a poorly used. You should probably call it agent torture, because if you don't want to be a real estate agent, that would be like telling a real estate agent, you got to do 60 hours of wholesaler training. They don't want to do it either. I don't blame them. So now we're going to put people in seats that they don't even want to be there. They're not going to pay attention to the information. You know how this works. So we've all been through high school. I didn't pay attention. I wasn't a good student. I had ADHD. So the 60 hours, I don't care if you do it online, you do it in person, it's painful. I have a huge problem sitting down. Why do I want to learn to be a real estate agent if I'm not going to be a real estate agent? The thing is, we're trying to squeeze wholesalers in a real estate license, and it doesn't fit. If it was a wholesale license, we'd have a whole different conversation. They're never going to do that, though. Why not squeeze it in there? You know why? Because NAR wants them to do it, because NAR is the beneficiary of this. So, number one, 60 hours. Number two, you have to have a high school diploma. Now, guys, these aren't high bars. Like, don't get me wrong. Every one of you could do this easily. But remember, if you don't finish high school, you're not allowed to get your license. Okay? Not that high school's like any measure of a bar, but like, why is a high school diploma important to get your real estate license? Who are you weeding out? I don't understand that one. Who cares? I don't care if you have a 6th grade education. It's like arbitrary. You got to have a high school diploma. At some point, I would imagine there's some states that are going to require you to have like your associate arts degree, or maybe even your bachelor's degree. The thing is, these licenses will change, and they might up the ante on it, and it's going to require you. So if you have to go to any type of formal college, guys, these things cost a fortune now. If somebody wants to comment what a credit hour in college costs now, because it's terrible. I still have one kid in school. It's really expensive. So if I have to go get like another 60 hours of, I think 60 hours would cover 2 years just for my basic education. You're talking about, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. And then if they make you get a bachelor, all heck will break loose. So high school, don't be surprised if that changes in certain states. Okay. The next thing, guys, these aren't high marks. I'm just letting you know what they are. These are facts. I'm not making this up. I'm pulling it up from all the sites. You have to have a social security number. So if you're any type of foreigner or anything like that, you cannot get your real estate license, or you're going to have to go through some ridiculous hoops. You'll get fingerprinted, no big deal, but now you're sharing all your data with everybody you're doing this on. Typically in the United States, you only get fingerprinted when you're getting a license, or you don't even get it for your driver's license, or you're getting incarcerated. So, okay, after that, okay, you have to pass a state certified exam. So they're all a little bit different in it. I've seen the exam. Guys, it has nothing, zero to do with wholesaling. It will not make you a better wholesaler. It's not even, in my opinion, it's not going to make you a better steward of real estate, because it's all on technical things that real estate agents and brokers have to comply to be compliant as a licensed realtor. Nothing to do with wholesaling. I guarantee you on this state exam, there's not going to be one question on wholesaling. There's not going to be one question on assignment, a little bit on escrow and stuff like that, but I'm just telling you, it's not going to be on there. Now, the next thing is the average state. I've checked it high and low. The average state cost, guys, this is just the state, is $300 to $600. Their application fees, and usually you have to renew it. I think it's anywhere from $100 to $150 a year to keep your license active. Now, a big part of licenses are income generating for states. I get it. Like, honestly, I don't even have a problem with it. I'm just so used to it. My problem is we're trying to force a wholesaler to become educated as a real estate agent, and wholesalers, there's a reason we're not real estate agents. We just didn't choose that profession. The same reason a real estate agent didn't choose the profession of being a wholesaler. Okay. This is not a video to destroy real estate agents and brokers. Big part of my family is, and I own a brokerage, but I'm just telling you, my first 7 years, I didn't even hint at slightly getting a license, and I was told I had to get it. Now, there was nothing illegal back then. I was just told it's always coming down the pipeline. You need to be aware of it. So thank God I used my own brain and I made my own decision. So that's the state cost for the exam. The next one is you're going to wind up with MLS fees, because there's a little thing called NAR, which stands for the National Association of Realtors, also known, I'm just going to say it, as the Mafia of Realtors. Like, they control everything. So they raise, I believe, $260 million a year in dues. And they use this money basically to lobby and fight to protect the real estate agent. So keep in mind with NAR, they are being, actually, they've been on an active lawsuit almost pushing, I think, 10 to 12 years plus. I don't know exactly. You guys can Google it. Department of Justice versus NAR. And it is an antitrust lawsuit, which means they are manipulating the entire market. And the only reason this came to fruition is when we had these one-size-fits-all online brokerages. NAR started, even though they took their money, they started hiding their listings. So they got sued. So last I checked, is they are having major problems in this lawsuit, but they're throwing everything they can at it. Their job is to protect the real estate commission, the 5 to 6% structure. And the problem is they're telling you that a listing agent can only speak for the client that they've listed. They have no rights to determine what the buyer's agent gets paid. And that's where, so I think there's going to be a lot of changes coming down the road, but just let you know, against, that's where the $260 million goes into lobbying to fight the money. It is ridiculous. They're very powerful. They have big friends in DC. And for that reason, they've been established a long time. It's going to be a hard battle. What NAR wants to do is get anything real estate under their umbrella so they can collect fees and control the market. Okay. I hate it, but if you are a realtor or broker, you're stuck with this model, and you guys have some changes coming, because I believe there's going to wind up being two separate listings, the listing agent and then the buyer's agent, and everybody has to negotiate their own. That's where they're going to wind up settling the suit. And the buyer's agents, in my opinion, are actually going to be the winners in this one. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, you have this great little thing, MLS fees, because you get access to MLS. Just to let you know, I am part of 3 associations, and I believe I pay over $6,500 a year for that privilege. Okay. It's ridiculous, but there is not one size fits all. Every every realtor association has a different system. Why they don't communicate? Well, why would they? Because they can control the fees. That's why they do it that way. So, but most agents stay in one market, so it's not that big of a deal. But when we do multiple markets, you have to pay every time. Let's talk about time commitment, guys. The average time it takes to get a real estate license is from 2 to 4 months, and that's if you're diligent, okay? You can take the test over and over because they're just going to keep charging you the fees over and over. And then if you Google like real estate agent, become a licensed agent, you will be buried with every like Gold Coast school, all of them. That is a huge business model. And I haven't even looked at the numbers of like real estate agents, but like they don't care. They will, if every human being, if all 330 million people in the United States wanted to get their license and they could qualify at the state level, they would take the state would take the money, and NAR would definitely take their money. So 2 to 4 months, guys, that's a long time. It's a huge commitment. Okay. Another part of getting the state license is you have to submit to a background check. So listen, we all make mistakes. We've all done some stupid things. If you've done a major stupid thing, like felony related or anything that is high criminal, first degree, any type of criminal, you're not getting your license. I'm just telling you, like you have to submit in detail. So now you got to explain your life to people you don't even know because they need to collect fees because they need to protect the public. Now, don't get me wrong. There are, I don't want mass murderers going out being real estate agents, but, where there's going to be gray lines. Like, okay, if you did something when you were 20 and say it's 10 years later, like people make mistakes all the time. You are now going to be subjected to this. I'm just giving you the facts. I'm not placing judgment on any of it, but you need to know this when you get it. What was the other one I was going to say? Real estate license. So that's basically all the stuff I just went over. It's fact. Like it's not negotiable. Like these are what most states are going to require, and you need to be aware of it when you do it. So let's talk about the pros of getting your real estate license. Okay. I'm going to check the comments here. I promise you, I'm not ignoring you guys. See, like Sherry's telling you right here, I was told to get my license. Okay. Guys, make sure who you're getting your information from. Okay. So as of right now, there's only 2 states that I'm aware of that you are forced to get your license. And I mean, like, guys, I could end this show in 5 minutes, but I like talking to you and we have a good time talking about wholesaling. If you're in a state that requires a license, get it, move on with your life. It is what it is. Why should you spend time getting dramatic about something you have no control over? Okay. If you have to do it, just get it. But you people that are debating it on states that don't require it right now, what are you thinking? Like, why? There's no getting out ahead of this. Whatever, 2 to 3 months probably to get your license. It's no big deal. Okay. I just don't understand this big debate. So, Sherry, so put in the comments and I'll put you back up there. Who told you to get your license? Now, if you're in one of the 2 states, I'm not even going to talk about the states. I'm not a lawyer and I haven't researched every single law, so I don't want to speak on things I'm very familiar with Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas, Alabama, and the Southeast, because that's where I do most of the business. But now there are some towns and stuff trying to pass things to try to inhibit our marketing ability and our ability to close. And that's a little bit of a different discussion, and we're going to talk about it. So anyways, let me get back on my points here. So pros of a real estate license. Okay. I'm going to give you some of the pros and cons. Remember, I own a brokerage, guys. I'm not just talking out of one side of my you-know-what. So number 1, separate you from the competition. I will be the first one to tell you. Oh, by the way, you have to be of 18 years of age. So if you're 18 or under, if you're 17 or younger, like when my son started out and like they passed this stuff, you cannot start till you're 18. You'll have to work with somebody anyways. So not like the end of the world, guys. Like, trust me, you'll find a way around it. But I'm just telling you, why should we wipe off 16, 17-year-old sharp kids, 14-year-old kids that want to get ahead in life? Why? Because we have 18, it's a random number. Why not make it? And at some point, I'm sure some states will change it to 21. You know how they do the drinking age and change stuff like that. So if you do that, it will separate the competition. I've been doing this 20 years, guys. Like, it would be easy for me to say, everybody go get your license because you all a bunch of idiots and you need help. It's easy for me to say that because I've already done the journey. I've fought the fight, and it's not a requirement for me. Like, I could live or die without it. If I was a 16-year-old kid starting it, you better start standing on the front of your seat and fight. Okay? Do not just roll over and get a license because a bunch of influencers are telling you got to get a license. Guess what? For their first 15 or 10 years, they did wholesaling with no thought of ever getting a license, never even talked about it. And now that they can get the spotlight and they're here to tell you how to do it, now they're going to harp on it. And, where were they when they were just starting out? They did everything. Guys, these are the same people that taught you how to do all this stuff, wholesaling, a lot of the stuff that's just wrong. Like, put everything under contract, do this, do that. And now people are going to get on their high horse after they've made all their money and say, listen, now you need to get a license. You guys aren't being responsible. These are the same people that taught you, hey, I'll show you how to flip real estate, no risk. You don't have to worry about anything, no skin in the game, no money. And if anything ever happens, you just walk away from the contract. These same people are now telling you, hey, we all need to band together and get a license. The license isn't going to fix it. Guys, do you know how many bad real estate agents I know that have a license? Like, it doesn't fix the problem. It just gives another barrier of entry and a cost to get into it. So if you do get your license, the biggest argument is separate. Actually, there's truth to this. My life would be a little bit easier in my local market if everybody had to get a license. That's just a fact, because now there's a barrier to entry. Okay. But it's still not going to stop the idiots from coming in. Okay. Number two, here's another one. Well, nothing's illegal now, Rick. I have my license. Guys, you get your license and people look the other way, but I'm just telling you, it's not illegal, but now you're subject to Big Brother. You're subject to a board, and I'm going to go into you on this. I've watched this personally. If you think getting your license is all your liabilities wiped off, it's just begun. And I'm going to show you why. Okay. But the argument is that, well, I can't, no one's going to look at me because now I'm licensed. And in theory, that's partly right. Next one, credibility with sellers and real estate agents and brokers. This is true. Some sellers are going to like it. I'm here to tell you, I do a lot of business sellers. They don't want to deal with a real estate agent. They don't. They're embarrassed with their situation and they don't want to deal with it. And if I got a license, I'd probably be kicked out of a lot of the deals I do. It's just the truth. Now, some will like it and they go, okay, that's great. Now, you do get an additional respect with real estate agents and brokers. That's definitely a benefit. I don't really have an argument against that, because remember, if they know you had to go through the same torture they did, they'll give you a little bit more respect. But that's it. That's as far as it's going to go, guys. Like, to me, it's not worth it. Okay, guys, that's all I have for the pros. It's just the truth. You'll eliminate some of your competition. You'll get a little bit more credibility, but you're going to lose some of that credibility because some people just don't want to deal with real estate agents because there are bad agents that they've been burned by in the past, and they have a problem property and they don't want inspections. They don't want any games. They just want a cash person and get it done. Okay. And for those types of property, real estate agents aren't a good fit. That's where wholesalers fill the gap. And I want you to understand that. So guys, I know it's a little bit early today. I started a little bit early, but like, let's just kind of keep going. So let's go into the cons of getting a real estate license. Okay. I'm going to throw out the biggest one there. So before I put this out there and you guys start making comments, okay, listen, 95% of the people that complain about me telling you not to get a license are licensed agents. Okay. If you're licensed agents, God bless you. You serve a great purpose and I use you for a lot of business. Okay. My wife's my broker. Okay. I'm not picking on you guys. You do not want wholesalers to become licensed real estate agents. You're just going to create more competition for yourself. I'm here to tell you, you guys don't want this. NAR wants it because they get a piece of everyone's action. NAR is the only beneficiary on this one. Obviously the state, but NAR is you as a real estate agent, it's not going to benefit you. If anything, it's going to cut you out. Okay. So I'm going to put something up here. Do not give me nasty like realtor. This is just the truth. You get a real estate license, you're a realtor. That's it. I did not become and get into this business to be a wholesaler to become a real estate agent. I can't. Real estate agents have a special place in my heart because they put up with all the nitty gritty stuff it is to get top dollar. And you guys know what I'm talking about. You got to get through escrow. You got to get through inspections. You got to get through appraisals. You got to get through mortgage commitments. And then you got to get to that dramatic closing. I don't do any of that stuff. I actually hire agents to do it for me because I do not speak realtor. Like I have to be filtered when I talk to a realtor. I've been doing this 20 years. Okay. But guys, if you're a wholesaler, you get your real estate license, you are a realtor. End of story. I don't care what you say. In my eyes, you're a realtor because you got a realtor's license. And then you're going to start. I find when people start getting, hey, Rick, I do wholesaling, do some listings. I promise you, once you go, I'm not going to call it the dark side, but you start doing listings. And then all of a sudden, you're much more of a real estate agent than you ever thought you're going to do. You might find yourself being pushed by your broker to follow the real estate agent model, which is 100% completely different than what a wholesaler does. You could get brainwashed. I didn't even put that up there. I'm just telling you on that one. Okay. Here's the next one. It's going to hurt your marketing. It hurts marketing. I'm sorry. It's the truth. If I have to disclose on every piece of marketing I do, I'm a licensed realtor, it's going to kill my edge. I'm sorry. Bandit signs, any type of letters, postcards, any type of mailings, any SMS, any type of cold calling. Now you got to spit it out. Guys, like there is a downside to this. There's not just upside, there is downside. Okay. If you put that on there, they're going to know you're a realtor. And if they don't want to work with a realtor, they're just getting rid of your marketing piece. So let's go to the next one. I already talked about, guys, it's expensive. Like it adds up really quick. Now, if you only want to do one market and stuff, it's not too bad. But you guys are doing like virtual, it's going to be an ungodly cost because it's never going to stop. And the minute you want to pivot to a new market, you got to like think about it if you want to go through all the licensing and fees and do all that. So, okay, here's one. You ready? Guys, you better hold your boots for this one because I'm telling you, this is the absolute truth. In 20 years, I've seen this a lot. Me as a wholesaler, let me take this off here. If you have a complaint with me, there's only one person you can file the complaint with. Okay? That's you. Do you guys know who it is? Guys, put in the comment sections if you have a complaint about a wholesaler, particularly say Rick, who is the one person? There's only one person that can accept your complaint. I'm going to wait just a minute. Whoever gets it right, I'm going to make a star out of you. I'm just telling you, there's only one person that you can complain to in my wheelhouse. It's not my wife either. Okay. Heather says, Rick, close. I'll give you a hint. It's a woman figure. Okay. Masha says your wife has said that. So I got it here. So one time I talked to you yesterday, you're right. It's my mom, and God rest her soul. That's the only woman that I will listen to if you have a complaint, period. As a wholesaler, guys, I want you to understand, my mom is the only person I'm going to listen to if you have a complaint. So you got a complaint, call my mom, because I will do whatever that woman told me to do. That's how life works. You guys have a mama, you know how it works. Like we just don't fight against our mamas. That's the one person you're just here to make happy on the earth. So if you have them, hug them. So, now, if you are a licensed real estate agent, hold on, let me get my mama. You give me. I appreciate that, Patriot. That's good. So, Guys, do you know how many complaints I've had in 20 years in wholesaling? I get them all the time. The biggest complaints we get is, I don't understand what you're doing and it's not fair you're making so much money. There's two people that actually, there's three people that are going to complain the most in life in our business. It's other wholesalers, call it jealousy or being envious, mostly jealousy. Number two, title companies complain all the time in what I do because they don't understand it. Just because you don't understand it doesn't make it illegal. It just means you haven't spent the time. You haven't spent the thousands of hours in wholesaling I have. And I don't spend thousands of hours in title, although I have. And if they think something's wrong, they can report you. Okay. I've been reported to the state. I've been checked out multiple times. Just because I'm good at what I do doesn't make it illegal. Okay. So other wholesalers, title companies are a big one. And guess who's going to really come after you once you get your license? You're right. Other realtors. You are going to get complained. I'm just telling you, I have realtors complain all the time. It's not fair what you do. Why is it not fair? Because you're making a $5,000 commission. I'm making 50. Come and do what I do. Like, let me show you the joy. Like, let me show you the times where you get your butt kicked and like a month I didn't make any money. Or when I started out, I was completely broke. I didn't know what I was doing. It's so easy to judge people. And I'm here to tell you guys, the problem with this is, where is it? Once you get your license, anybody can file a complaint against you. They can actually do it anonymously. Okay? You tick off one person. And by the way, a good wholesaler never upsets the seller. Like, you've got to have a bond with that seller, because in the event anything ever blows up, the seller's the one that would run you under the bus the hardest. Okay? So in my heart of hearts, if you guys agree to my trainings, with Zach and myself, we always tell you have to bend over backwards taking care of the seller. The real estate agent, listen, there's such a pain in the butt. I just want to get rid of them. Okay? Once you get your license, realtors complain on realtors more than anybody else. And so when you get your license and this comes up, they'll file a complaint with you. Okay, well, Rick, it's just a complaint. No. That complaint doesn't go away. You have to answer to it, no matter how bogus it is. Guess who reviews your complaint? A board. The board of realtors, you have a committee, and they will pass judgment on you. And it's not about if you're right or wrong. It's how they interpret the data. Okay. So I want you to understand also, you get a board review. Your assignment fees are now subject to split with a broker. You can work out any type of an agreement. But guys, keep in mind, if you do not have a personal relationship with the broker, like they're not family or like your business partner, why would a broker take a wholesaler under their wing? You're nothing more than a liability for them. Think about it. Complaints, like, are you going to generate commissions? No, but you're going to generate assignment fees. Brokers are already now writing business models so they can take 20% of your assignment fee. And guys, guess what? I almost guarantee you, there's going to be people out there that's going to give you a solution to this to work with the wholesale broker. I'm sure it will be a national franchise. And hey, sign up under me. We'll take care of you. We'll give you wholesale training. I'll give you extra stuff. But I promise you, you're going to be giving up a percentage of your assignment fee. Remember, we don't get commissions. We get paid on assignments. Once again, why am I getting my license if I'm doing... So why would a broker take you under the wing if you have no shot of generating money for them? You're a liability. You're a waste of time. They don't want to deal with it. So I've already seen it. I've already seen the rumblings. People are trying to create, influencers are trying to create a national model for wholesalers. Remember, the same people that want to protect you with anything. Like, I'm all for anything that's going to help, but you're going to fight NAR, $262 million. Been around forever, and you're magically now we're going to fix it. Like, it's like, how are we going to fight with them? Like, what is the fight? You've got to have the big guns. An email list alone is not even going to fight it. Okay. And in the end, they're still going to have to get your license. So what's the point? What I'm saying is, if you're being pitched to join an organization, which if the organization can help, I'm all for it. But show me what you're going to do, how you're going to spend your money. Show me that you're going to have other than just influencers on the board. And then tell me you do not have a backup plan to launch a national brokerage association for wholesalers so you can get in their back pocket. Because I'm telling you guys, it's coming. So there's a lot of really good entrepreneurs out there, and they're trying to find problems, and they found this problem where wholesaling is, quote, becoming illegal. You got to be licensed. I promise you, you're going to be sold solution after solution. You're going to have to make the decision. Remember, I always tell you, you got two things you vote with. You vote with your money and you vote with your time. And time's more important than your money right now. So just be aware of it. When you see this stuff coming around, listen, if you're going to do an organization, go all in, get the players in, get the right people in, get high quality lawyers, get people from outsider business to help with it. But you can't have a backup plan to launch a national brokerage to help out wholesalers, because that is the exact same business model we're all kind of fighting against. So that's just my sense on that. E&O insurance. When you go with a brokerage, most of them are going to require you to have E&O insurance. That's errors and omissions. Do you know if you make one statement and it's taken out of context? I was involved in a simple assignment deal I did with a realtor. The realtor, I believe it was the buyer's agents had a realtor. Something got taken out of context, and they settled the E&O for $75,000. They really didn't even do anything wrong. Insurance companies just want to settle and move on. What happens is when they get a claim against the broker, their insurance fees go up to the point it's not even affordable anymore. Most brokers are going to require you to carry some insurance because if you say something stupid, they want to be protected. You now fall under that umbrella as a licensed agent. Enjoy it. Guys, insurances are going through the roof. Inflation's really driving them up, and bogus claims are a part of it. We've already talked about MLS fees. I'm not going to go any deeper than that. Guys, they're getting more and more expensive, and then you have to do training on top of training. Listen, it's a pain in the butt. I don't have a complete answer for it, but it is what it is. And with the age of technology and internet, how I'm talking to you, I'm shocked we're still stuck in this system. So last but not least, you have a boss. I did not get into wholesaling to have a boss. I'm sorry. You're my boss as far as I just tell you the truth how it is. I've worked directly under brokers before. My wife's a broker. It's a pain in the butt. Your paperwork has to be perfect. Remember, they're responsible for you, so they want you to do the work. Your contracts have to be reviewed. They have to be submitted, uploaded. All addendums, everything. Usually have to have like an online cloud where you store everything. Guys, if you're sloppy, and I'm just going to tell you, I'm not the neatest wholesaler. I run around, I do deals, I have paperwork everywhere. Brokers are going to the only reason my broker doesn't fire me is because she's my wife. Okay. It's just the truth. I've been fired by 3 other brokers, 3, because I do tons of deals. And by the way, brokers will get ticked when you make a ton of money. And they're like, what are you doing? Every broker's come to me, Rick, can you show me exactly what you're doing and teach my staff? No, it's my business. I'm not going to do that, especially when I was younger. Now I teach all you guys. You don't have to have your license to do it. But guys, understanding. And so here's the last thing I'm going to go with. I had an instance. I have a good friend in the business. I'm going to keep it private. He did an assignment for $100,000. It was a great deal. I remember him telling me about it. It got me excited when I was a lot younger. He happened to be a licensed agent. This was before all the hoopla. Well, there was a complaint filed. I believe it was filed by a title company and an attorney. Okay. This is where jealousy rears its ugly head. Remember, when you meet in front of the board, it's not all about law. It's about their opinion of how it went down. Well, here's the really wild part. They deemed it an unethical transaction, even though it wasn't, because I checked it out. And they not only did they ask for the $100,000, they demanded the $100,000 back. They gave him, what was it, like a $22,000 commission. So basically he lost $78,000 and he got a $15,000 fine on top of it. It was like 3 $5,000 fines. So he took a $100,000 deal and he only got $5,000 on it because the board, it didn't follow the realtor specifications. And guys, this is the problem. We are wholesalers. Find me a wholesale license. I'm all in. I do not want to be trained as a realtor. It would be the same mantra as if I took a real estate agent and made them dive into my world. They would be pissed. And that's the part that ticks me off. So here's my last piece of opinion on this. We're going to go and do Q&A. Okay. If you're in a state that 100% requires you getting a license, and guys, you're the only one that can make that determination, you and maybe a lawyer. Do not, the internet told me, my friend told me, most of the people telling you to get licensed are other licensed agents. It's just the truth because they got to go through all that crap. You should have to do the same thing. Ask them, if I had a wholesaler's license, would you go ahead and do it? No, they don't want to waste their time and spend their money doing it. So if you're in a state that requires it, do it now. If you're not, go along your business and focus on learning how to do wholesaling. The rest is a 100% distraction. This argument, you need to get out in front of it. I don't understand. If there's a drop dead date you got to get licensed by, they have to announce it. Just get licensed to move on with your life and understanding it's a pain in the butt. Getting ahead of it, no such thing, my friend. That's the most ridiculous statement I've ever heard. There's no getting ahead of it. Guys, you need to spend time and focus on how to get deals, how to work with motivated sellers. If you're spending any time like focusing on licensing on a state that doesn't require it, it's what we call a distraction. And someone's going to try to sell you a solution one way or the other. And when they have multiple solutions, be concerned, be afraid. They're coming after you. Okay. Listen, it's easy for me, guys, doing this 20 years ago. Listen, you all get a license because I need to filter you out. That's what most senior wholesalers feel like because it's easy. But I'm just telling you, I've watched this from when my son started in high school to where you guys are starting now. I don't care if you're 90 or you're 15 or you're 40 and trying to figure it out. The last thing you need is another obstacle in your lap. Okay. We all know how big government works. You know my opinion on this. Okay. I don't need someone telling me how to do this. Okay. If you look out for the homeowners, take care of everybody in the transaction and do the right thing, you answer to your mama. That's all you need to answer to. But if you're going to do shady stuff, get out of the business. I don't want you here anyways. Nobody wants you here. But guys, I know bad drivers. I know bad fishermen that have fishing licenses that don't honor any of the laws. I know real estate agents that do illegal transactions all the time. There's bad apples everywhere. Wholesaling is just more mainstream and it's become louder. If you guys want to make a difference, get involved in your state. Reach out to your congressman or woman. It's 100% free and it actually has an impact. People are like, oh, what am I going to do that? Well, what are you going to do? You're going to sit around and wait for some organization to do it for you and then you're going to give them money? If everybody would stand up and fight and get educated on their state, we could make actually some difference. You don't need to wait. Do you notice like the movement to fix wholesaling? It's like we're building momentum. Guys, people don't care if there's 100,000 people signed on a document. If people just make phone calls and get educated about what's going on in their state, then we could inform each other on mediums like this, say, hey, listen, this is what they're proposing. But if you guys do it, no, I just heard they're thinking about, somebody said, hey, I got bill 8126 where they're trying to do this. And then we can fight the fight. Okay. So just so you know, these are bills. They get sponsored by politicians, not by corporations, not by lobbyists. It has to be sponsored. And that's where you can do the damage, reaching out to those people and see what's driving the engine. So guys, that's it. Like, I rather, honestly, if you got questions about like getting a license, if you guys are just jumping in around, I'm telling you right now, if you're in a state, you have to get a license, get the license, move on with your life, and learn how to talk to motivated sellers. You guys can't spend hundreds of hours trying to figure out if a license is right for you or not. And honestly, if you're leaning towards being a real estate agent / wholesaler, I guess just get it then. I never had that desire. Like it was just never in my wheelhouse. I'm not going to distract myself for a $3,000 commission when I can make $100,000 on a deal. So like, just to give you preference. Okay. Today I closed on one of my biggest single family home wholesale deals ever. Very little rehab, 10 days. And It's like I haven't even got the final numbers yet, actually, but it sold for more than $152,000 when I bought it, and I did it all less than 62 days. So I'm just, guys, I got 20 years experience in the business. I love what I do, but the thing is, I don't know the next deal coming around the corner is going to make me 150 or $3,000, but I'm not going to be limited by a license. It theoretically doesn't limit you. It just distracts the heck out of you and makes you so much more accountable. And it's not an accountable in a good way, in my opinion. So give me a wholesale license. I'm all for it. I don't want an organization or anybody telling me how to do it. I will support an organization if they will lay out every detail of what they're doing. But guys, we can't do organizations like we do real estate courses where we do some marketing, we put an email list together, we put a basic website together and go, okay, here we go. Guys, this is a big boy arena, okay? And I give kudos for whoever can do that fight, but like you better bring your A game because we are not going to get away with like real estate course mentality. Like it's just different. So there is a huge barrier to entry to getting into the lobbying arena and to fight NAR. Ugh. So, okay, guys, now we're on the Q&A part. Let's jump into it. And let us do it. So I'm going to go halfway through it here. Okay, so Mark has a question here. Hold on, let me get rid of, hold on, Mark. Hold on. I think I get rid of that. Yeah. Okay. Mark says, I'm licensed in Florida. Would I have to declare myself a realtor if I'm cold calling distressed sellers? Would that apply if I move my license to inactive? Dude, good questions. I don't know all this stuff because I'm not a licensed agent. So there's one thing I always tell you guys. I'm not going to give you advice on stuff like I'm not an expert on. So what I would do is call your state licensing board. I guess you can call NAR, just be very careful with it, and find out what you can do and what you can't do. I have no idea. The best way, listen, the best workaround for this that I found, and you guys take it to do it, is if you have a partner, a spouse, or anyone like that, and one of them gets licensed and one is not licensed, you can kind of do the workaround. That's my suggestion. That's it. We could probably wrap this video up and be done with it. But apparently, people just want to talk about like this endlessly. And I honestly rather spend time teaching you guys how to talk to motivated sellers, how to find deals. But I'll talk about anything you want. The only reason I'm doing this topic because it's just so like people are just spending so much energy on it. And every minute we spend talking about licensing is taking away from what I call real education on wholesaling. Just my opinion. So, Mark, I would go get the facts. Don't take them from me because I don't know what they are. There's a reason I only teach wholesaling real estate investing. I don't teach about digital coins. I don't teach about how to flip stuff on Amazon. I don't teach you how to do Forex, any of that stuff, because I don't sit here and chase the hottest thing around. I just go with what I'm best at and what I've had the most success with. So, Mason says, help, please. Well, put it in the comments and let me see what I can help you with. Joe's recognizing my psycho bunny, and I got to give my wife credit on this one. Psycho bunny. I had a problem when I heard it, but apparently it's comfortable. Like all I do is care about is comfortable. I'm in Florida. It's 84 degrees out. Good fishing weather. Wear what's comfortable, right? So let's see what Scott says here. Scott says, if you get licensed, it'll be very difficult for you to make a profit you want to make. Your broker is going to scoff at anything over 6 or 8%. That can be a huge loss of income. True and not true. The challenge is, like, if I'm new and say I go out and get a license and then I go to a broker and go, listen, I'm a wholesaler. Well, listen, we already got a bad rap in the business anyways. And they're like, well, do you earn commissions? No, I do assignment fees. He's like, when I talk to most brokers, like they understand assignments, but they scoff at them. They don't, like, there's a debate. Can they collect a percentage of an assignment fee? Is assignment fee a commission? It's not. It's legally not. So this opens up a whole new can of worms. The reality is, if a broker wants to take you under and you can't generate commissions, you are nothing but a liability to them. Why would they want you under your wing? So how are you going to do it? Guess what? I promise you, someone's going to come out and offer you a national brokerage that caters to wholesalers. And I promise you, you're going to pay a fee up front, and then you're going to pay a part of your commissions or your assignment fees. And there's a new trend going on in the brokerages, and it's like the MLM spin on brokerages. Pay a fee, you recruit people below you, you share in that money. Guys, it almost sounds like a Ponzi scheme to me. I'm just telling you, if they can find 100,000 wholesalers that'll do it, someone's going to make a lot of money. Guys, look at the solutions being sold to you. Follow the money, and you can figure out what's going on. Are you getting a solution, or is somebody just getting in your back pocket? So I'm not going to use the particular brand, but you guys can look it up. There is an MLM of real estate brokerages, and basically every time they sign someone up, they pay in a fee, just like you would like any type of MLM, and then everybody under your leg, you get a spiff. So the idea is to go out and recruit everybody you humanly possibly can, if they have a pulse or not. So if I can find 100,000 people that, hey, listen, I'll take you because no one else will take you because you're a wholesaler, they're going to get a spiff every time you sign up. And then it would be a lot of money. That's actually a brilliant idea. I'm not even like knocking. I'm just giving you the truth. So when you see this national thing coming out, hey, we're wholesaler broker friendly, sign up under us. If you have to pay an upfront fee, you better start running because it's going in someone's pocket. That's how MLM works. You pay a fee up front. Reputable brokers don't do that. So there's one particular model that's out there. I'm not going to use the name because I don't want a lawsuit on my hands. So when you join a brokerage, usually you pay your insurances, your MLS fees, and some sort of profit split anywhere from 5% to 20%, and then usually caps out around 20, 25 grand. That's a traditional model, and it works. But this new model coming in is you pay like a $500 entry fee. Then you pay all the other fees and stuff like that. You get a little bit more commissions, but the idea is it's a numbers game. So if they take in 1,000 agents and only 50% of them stick around, they're always making money on you. And then you go out and you kind of be a marketing machine for them. So it was just a matter of time before MLM came into real estate. So good questions, man. So Scott's following us up. He did a $1.3 million deal, made 135K, 8%, 104. He would have lost 31K. Yeah, so guys, we make big numbers here. And so the question is, the traditional real estate brokerage license model is you get that portion of the commission. So if I'm like making profit, how am I going to compensate the broker? I guess someone's going to solve it for us. Oh, there it is. I keep putting the big boss on there. It's kind of fitting. You do have a boss if you have a broker. Like, trust me, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I get chewed out by my wife all the time. You missed this paperwork. You missed this signature. You didn't do this. You're going to get me in trouble. What if they come back and do this? This is family in 20 years of doing the business. Can you imagine if you go to one off the street, this type of stuff you're going to get back? And if you become a liability, they're going to get rid of you right away. So they'll actually charge you more. I don't blame them. Like, think about it. Okay. So Derek, I see your comment in there about the probates. If you've absolutely killed them with kindness, Brian is correct. If you can file a FOIA, but remember, the court system is run by we, the people. It's your tax dollars that pay for it. I would still try to rationalize them. If not, you can make a demand for FOIA, which is the Freedom of Information Act. And if they don't comply, I believe it's $10,000 per incident. But I'm just telling you, that's a dark road to go down. I've only done it once. You can Google it, FOIA, and find the forms for it. And then actually all court systems have a compliant department, and FOIAs are used all the time in government to reveal forms that the government doesn't want to show you. But really, probates, once they hear the word FOIA, they usually comply. So, okay. So Craig says, I have an investor, a friend who was a broker, saves on commission, and thinking about getting my license. So when I get leads, I can either wholesale from them or get commission. Would you still recommend this? So Craig, like this is just a personal choice. And honestly, if that's your decision and your dilemma getting a license, only you have the right decision to make with that. So if you guys want to do wholesaling, my recommendation to you is hopefully you have a family member or a partner, a spouse, a brother, a sister, an uncle, an aunt, where one can be licensed and the other one can't be. That way you can still send out your marketing legally without all these ridiculous disclosures, and you can offset the cost. So when you get a deal that just needs to sell traditionally, they can get the commissions. You can share a little bit of a marketing spiff, and that's it. Just so you know how the real estate license is regulated is you are not legally allowed to collect a commission on a HUD without having a license. Okay. The same thing applies to attorney. That's why they have to have their law license. Okay. That does not include assignment fees, guys. That is not written into the wordage. And I believe eventually they're going to try to attack that. But I want you to understand assignment fees are not a commission. They do not follow under the commission umbrella. So when you're a wholesaler and you become a licensed real estate agent, it doesn't solve anything other than you pay a fee and you get it off. The reality is where they have the most teeth against wholesalers and real estate investors is when you don't close on a property and you sell your contract. So you guys, wholesalers, you've got to repeat this. You're in the art of selling a contract. Today, you are allowed to legally sell the contract clearly in 48 states with no repercussions. It's 100% legal. You're not commissioned. You don't need a license. The catch is where they're going to try to nail you is when you try to show the property to this contract and you put it out on the internet, then you're going to be subject. A lot of people think, well, you get your license, you get around this. I don't know if that completely fixes you. Like, think about it. Because are you acting as a principal? And that's that whole argument on it. So you have to sell the contracts. If they happen when to look at the property, you just can't make it like a public disclosure because that's where you're going to get nailed on it. So Craig, it's a personal choice. What the scenario I just told you, if that works for you, then do it. What I find is when wholesalers go get their license, inevitably more than half of them wind up being real estate agents in the end. It's like, guys, either go all in wholesaling or like don't. Like anything else you do in life, though. Like if you're going to be an engineer, go in and be an engineer. Don't have a sales backup job. You cannot have plan B in wholesaling. I'm sorry. Okay. With a full disclosure, if you have a family, you're responsible for them, you have a mortgage, you have young children, do not leave your job to do wholesaling. Do wholesaling in your odd hours, nights, weekends, until your job's taking away from wholesaling. That's how I did it. I didn't have a choice. I had a mortgage. I had kids. I was in over my head. I wasn't in over my head. I just didn't want to be a slave. I wanted my freedom on it. So good question, Craig. So that's in that scenario, that's a personal dilemma. And getting a license on a legal standpoint is not part of the argument. We're talking about people say, like, I have to get a license. I have to get a license. Olivia says, looking good, Rick. Olivia might not have her glasses on. I'm just kidding. I appreciate the compliments. Thank you so much for all this. Olivia is always on here, and I appreciate her time on here. Okay, let's keep going here. So guys, put in your questions. We got an hour and I will talk. If I run out of questions, I'm done, man. So, so King says, I agree with it. Honestly, get out of the business. I can't stand people who have bad morals. He's talking about unethical people. And like, guys, this isn't a wholesaling problem. It is a society problem. It's not just an American problem. We have problems in Canada. You got problems in Europe. We could go all around the world. We cannot sit here and police the entire world. Are there some things that can be done? I agree. My problem is taking a wholesaler who is purely an entrepreneurial person with no limits and forcing him into this real estate agent license thing. It's ridiculous. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It doesn't solve any problems. Okay. Oh, now nothing's illegal. Yeah, but now you got Big Brother watching at you. Every complaint that's going to hit your desk is not going to your mom's desk anymore. It's going in front of like a board members, and they're going to pass judgment on you. And anything you do in real estate is going to be subject to it, including assignment fees, flips, anything you do. Okay. I've had some crazy people come back to me And honestly, if I had a license, I probably would have had some problems. I'm talking about people 2 to 3 years later coming out of the woodwork. Like I didn't want to sell my, like a crazy aunt comes out. Like I didn't want to sell that property in probate. You signed a contract. We went to a title company. I mean, everything was notarized. Like there's no question in my mind you did it. If she files a complaint to the board, then the board's going to make a decision based on whatever data they have. And by the way, it's not like a regular trial and jury. Everything's open when they submit. I've sat through these complaints. They're absolutely ridiculous. And remember who's going to complain on you the most? Your fellow realtors. I'm sorry. It's just the truth. Mason says help again, but will not give me information. So, Fabricio says, heard some people talk about wholesaling being unethical and should be illegal because it's so similar to net listing, which is legal in most states. Just wanted to hear your thoughts. Listen, most of the people that complain, it winds up like anybody can wholesale, but you got to put the time in and learn it. You guys know this is not like overnight success does. It can happen fast. But just because you can earn quick money and you can get freedom of your time does not make it illegal. Why most people say wholesaling is illegal is because they're not used to it and it's foreign to them. And it's got to be illegal to make that much money that quick. It's not, guys. It's just you've been beaten down by society so bad. You go to your 9-to-5 job. Anybody just doing a 9-to-5 job, you're a complete freak. I'm telling you guys, when I leave this stream, other than the tight people I work with in this business, I don't talk about like what I do. You know why? Because they can't wrap their heads around it. They literally can't wrap their heads around it. I mean, I'm basically semi-retired. I do this because I love the business, and I'll probably do it to the day I die. I love wholesaling. So because I don't go to work and tell you how bad my job is and how much I hate my boss and I hate the industry is, makes me a freak of society. So call me a freak. I'm all for it. Call me the freak wholesaler. I don't give a crap, man. I live by different rules. It doesn't make it illegal. Okay. If I told somebody I made $150,000 with one transaction, they're going to assume like you're doing something massively illegal. You're not. You've just developed a skill set and you know how to work it. Guys, I'm not the only one that does this. Like you guys see it. People all over the world, not all over the world, but in the United States, it's people make big money in real estate. What they don't tell you is they put in a lot of work, a lot of sweat labor, and they had some hard times in the beginning. And anybody who tells you they did it without a struggle is 100% lying to you. So people who say like wholesaling is illegal are typically uneducated in it and they're scared of it. And if it doesn't seem right and it doesn't fit to what society does, it's got to be illegal. And I get this all. If I go to 10 people and show them tell them what I do, they assume either I'm lying or number two, I'm doing something illegal, and I'm not. And guys, we shouldn't have to feel about this way. Like, why should I be I'm not ashamed to be a wholesaler, but like if I'm in a party and a group of people, I do not go on a limb and tell people like what I do. I just tell you real estate investing, because here's the reality is people don't care. Would you guys agree with it? Like they don't care. And I've took the skills on working with motivated sellers and trying to get like great deals. I take that same skill set when I go to a party and I just lean in and I use these and I keep this a little bit closed. He or she who talks the most reveals the most information. I can learn so much about somebody at any type of gathering or dinner. Just ask them about them. People love to talk about themselves. And that's how if you want to win people over, let them talk to you. Do not sit there and lecture them. Okay. People they like to hear themselves talk. I make a living off letting people talk to me. And people go, hey, what's the one secret to share with them? I go, let people just talk to you and just show them empathy. There we go. We could wrap the show up on that one too. So, so Ed says he's in Illinois. He's going to just do a virtual market, not worth the drama. So at least Ed agrees says, listen, if he's going to do Illinois, either he's going to avoid it or get a license. Why go through this song and dance of all these different things I have to do? Either get a license or go to another market. I 100% agree with you, Ed. and don't let anybody else steer you. So Brian says selling a piece of paper for a fee is not illegal. I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. And guys, it's not a commission. An assignment fee is not a commission. So getting your real estate license, keep in mind, brokers, their main objective is to collect their associates' commissions. If you're not generating commissions, why are you in their brokerage? So we're going to have a problem with this at some point. Like there's no way. Eventually, you're going to see the word commissions / assignments. That's my prediction on the future. How would you guys feel if you had to give up 20, 25% of your assignment fee? I'd be pissed. Work way too hard. Because you know what? They're not there when we spend all the marketing dollars on it. And I'm not talking like most real estate agents, other than the high-end ones, it's a little bit of a flyer and they stick it on MLS. They do very, very little marketing for the most part. That's not everyone, so don't quote me on that one. So RK says, thank you. I appreciate your time. So Trent asked a good question. So guys, we're wide open. Any questions? I think we've kind of beat the licensing to death. If you guys want to hear it again, if you're checking in the middle, if your state requires a license, get one. If not, go about your business. Be the best wholesaler you can. And when they force you to do it, just do it. It take a month or two, move on with your life. There's no getting ahead of this wholesaling thing. Okay. $260 million is being spent on lobbyists through NAR. There's no organization that's going to pop up overnight and just wipe that out. So your best fight is contacting your congressman or women and finding out what's going on in your state, and then use the internet to communicate your data. You guys don't need influencers to tell you what's going on in every market. And if they do, make sure you get a bill. And anybody who wants money from you, you tell me a detailed plan of exactly how you're going to spend every dollar, because that's what a good business does. They tell you how they're going to spend it and fight it. In my opinion, it is a huge uphill fight. So I don't like to spend energy on anything I cannot control. And I hate using the word realistic, but like, are you really going to change how they do this? In the perfect world, I would throw like a $200,000 to $500,000 in a legal fund. And then if a wholesaler got taken down for one of these ridiculous laws, I would hire like a really strong attorney that understands real estate law, and we would fund that and use that as a case example. Once you win one case, then you can set case law, and then you can really get some teeth going on to it. Everything else is a distraction. So I hear about like code of ethics and stuff. That's fine, but like everybody has to agree to do that, including gurus, educators, influencers, call them whatever you want, because the problem started on some of this ridiculous marketing. So I pulled up my phone the other day, just kind of scrolling, getting caught up. And I think I had 19 ads on how to wholesale. And every one of them had a fee from, I saw one $497 up to almost $10,000. And guys, I'm telling you, if you just go to freewholesaling.com, I give you the whole dang thing for free. I have no catch. Ask anybody in this comment section. I've never asked for a dime. I don't do any paid advertising because I much rather have someone organically, because I think it's more authentic. I have no problems against advertising, but I don't have a product to sell you. So why am I going to advertise it? So I'm looking for your attention, and I want to give you factual information, and I like to have fun with what we're doing. So, so back to Trent. I apologize, Trent. My ADHD is kicking in. Are you really? We have a friend in the studio, but I won't. Never mind. Anyways, he says, I have a property under contract. I need to back out. Do I do that with an addendum to the contract? If so, where do I get that? So Trent, if you need to back out, this has to all be clearly spelled out in your contract. So most wholesale contracts will have some sort of inspection period or some sort of addendum built in, from anywhere from a day or two up to like 90 days. And you have to have a reason for getting out of the contract. So the first thing I would do, Trent, is read your contract head to toe. And if you can't find it out, you need to consult a lawyer as soon as possible. Remember, you're dealing with homeowners here that have an expectation. And if you guys ever need to get out of contract, my advice is to do it sooner than later. So if you have a 14-day inspection period and you know day 3 or 4 you can't find a buyer, it's not going to work out, get out in the beginning. Do not wait till the very end. It is unethical, it's immoral, it's really bad business. And that is a problem in wholesaling. Let's just face it, people are slapping out contracts left and right. So read your contract and consult a lawyer if you need to do it. So Kaz says, if I get my license in a state that does not require for wholesalers, how do I effectively wholesale? If I get my license in a state that does not require it, how do I effectively wholesale? You can, you just have an extra layer of disclosures. That's it. It doesn't, guys, it's not required. A lot of you think it's going to protect you, and honestly, it's going to expose you, if anything. So if you're doing, honestly, if you're unethical and you're doing bad business, you get a license, it's not going to protect you. Okay. And vice versa. It doesn't matter. So let's take Florida where you're not required right now, and you go get a license. Any type of marketing material you have to do, it's all about disclosures. You have to tell everyone you are the professional, even though, like, it's funny. So I do 60 hours of real estate education. I pass the state exam, and now I'm the expert. Give me a break. Seriously. So a lot of people get turned off. Like, if they have a bad house, they're embarrassed. They don't want a professional real estate agent to come in to tell them their house is a piece of junk and they don't have any cash buyers. They really need a wholesaler. So it's just more disclosures, a heck of a lot more paperwork. And so if you don't have your license, I mean, guys, do what you want, but if you don't have to get your license, don't get it. It's just an extra expense, in my opinion. And it's another extra layer of disclosures stuff you have to do. So guys, Trent, if you want to put some information, we'll try to help you out here in the comment section. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to be honest with you. You need help as soon as possible. So guys, if you can help Curtis out, I believe it's Illinois and Oklahoma. Things could have changed. They could have added a state. You're never going to see me release a video and give you the latest scare tactic of how you have to run in wholesaling. 2 out of 48 states, and I know which way is trending. I'm not stupid. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and spend hours and hours on content. This is the limit, guys. I promise you, after this video, you're probably never going to hear about it again. So I'm not even going to deal with it right now. Okay. If I guys showed you what's going on, you wouldn't believe me. Okay, hold on now. Now I got to show you. Hold on. So this thing got in. This is Lulu, and she is the local cat here of the family. And somehow she got in our office here because she's supposed to be at home, and she's crying at the door. So everybody say hello to her, and I'm going to kick her out. Okay, see? Go. Okay. She's sitting there just like purring at my leg. She's driving me nuts. So not a big cat person, but she got brought to the office today. It's a long story. Anyways, let's see here. In what states? Okay, we talked about that. The Victor says it best here. People are so worried about the what if. You got to start learning in the now. The now should be you learning how to do wholesaling and getting advice. Instead, I think people are just running at. Here's the truth, okay? And I don't even fault other influencers. I think we're literally running out of, like, they're running out of information to give you for free. So the best information to give you for free are the biggest scare tactics. That's just my opinion. Do you need to protect yourself? Yes, but it's up to you to get educated on it. If you're going to depend on another person to tell you what's legal, not legal, or stuff coming down the hill, like, do you really think they have the power just to switch it for you? Like, if you give someone a fee or money or anything like that, you really think it's going to, same thing with a license. It's not going to fix it, guys. We are still going to have the same problem at the end of the day. And listen, I am the biggest fan of wholesaling. I will help anybody out, but we've got to admit at some point, how powerful are we to just fix all this stuff? And the last thing I want to do is get another layer on another layer for you guys to jump through. It's ridiculous. So getting your license, I don't want to be a real estate agent. If you want to be a real estate agent, this is probably not the best channel for you. And there's a million channels out there. Go see Tom Ferry. Any of these guys, they're great at it. Realtors have a different agenda, and I'm okay with it. But imagine taking a realtor. I'd love to hear the people that are licensed realtors and someone shoved, like, you need to become a licensed wholesaler to even consider catching an assignment fee. You'd be like, I'm not going to do it. But in the same reality, the fear is being shoved down our throat, if it all comes to fruition, which apparently somebody has a major crystal ball, is because it's not coming to Florida. I've talked to my congressman and woman, okay, in detail. Okay. I follow the laws and everything, and I'm still being told it's coming down the pipeline. It's not. But I just speak for Florida. It's not. It ain't coming in the next 10, 15 years unless we have a radical shift in our political environment in Florida. I'm that confident. Okay. You guys should be doing the same thing for your state and check it out. You need to network with people, use your RIAs and stuff like that. Do not rely on influencers to tell you the temperature of your market. Okay. I get it. But the same influencers that are saying, hey, you can watch out for this stuff, are the same ones that promoted you to learn how to do wholesaling. You pay a fee, and I promise you there's no risk. It's none of your money. It's think all assignment. It's a loophole, and I'm going to teach you how to do it. Now, all of a sudden, they're going to be righteous and tell you how to do everything. And that's where I'm like, listen, I could do that. I've been doing this 20 years. It would be easy for me just to get a license, call it a day, and do this and that. I'm thinking from the person just starting out wholesaling now, why should they have a completely different set of rules? It doesn't make sense. You didn't have to play by the rules. Now we're going to play by the rules. I can't make you be a morally good person. And by the way, there's no religion, there's no school. And honestly, maybe parents, in my opinion, parents have the biggest influence on how your child's going to raise, meaning their moral compass. So I've done my damnedest with my kids, and I can only account for those two. That's it. And if we all, I don't know, I think it's a parenting problem, but I'm not going to get into that part of it. It just ticks me off, man. So we all need to be accountable. So I agree with you, Victor. Thank you. Okay. Let's roll on, man. Guys, questions are wide open. Let's go. Let's have fun with this. Let's see here. I'm trying to get non-repetitive one. Okay, so Mason says he's filling out his assignment contract and are confused. I'm going to be honest with you. This part of the assignment contract does get confusing, and I should probably do a detailed video and walk you through it. So the thing you have to consider on an assignment contract, go to freewholesaling.com if it's not explained in there. Drop me a comment on this and I'll record a video so we can share it with everyone. By the way, guys, I believe we're over 800 videos. Okay. And me and Zach have really only been doing this channel just over a year. Do you know, there's a lot of influencers that have taken 10 years to get 800 videos, and we did it in 1 year. Just to show you the amount of volume of information we're trying to put out with you. We don't sit here and try to harp on the exact same things. I know there's a lot of repetitiveness. It's just because we're trying to answer the questions. And if you ask a question today or tomorrow, it doesn't make it any less important. So 800 videos, guys, in almost a year. And I looked at I think 10 of the other big people in it. They took 10 years to do that amount. We did it in 1 year. I'm just showing you, we want to give as much free information as we humanly possibly can. My goal is to change wholesaling to where you learn it. You don't have to pay a fee, make your first $100,000, and then you make the decision where you want to go from there. Wholesaling is a basic fundamental skill that does not require tens of thousands of dollars to get started. Everybody tells you the secret. Here's the secret. There is no secret. So you remember that video, guys, The Secret? The Secret. You just do positive thoughts and your life will change. Your attitude will change. It ain't going to fix your life alone. You can't just think positively. You can't think your way out of poverty. It just doesn't work that way. So do we pay that in the buyer, or do we decided to pay that in the buyer? So when you do an assignment contract, you have to look at the original contract. You have to look at the original purchase price and the original earnest money deposit. All assignment agreements, if you use mine or someone else's, you are required to disclose what the assignment fee is in that contract. End of story. And my recommendation for taking a deposit is 5%. 5%. I'm telling you, people pay attention at 5%. At 1% and 2%, they'll walk away from you all day long. So I will do a video. Go to freewholesaling.com. I believe we have a detailed one filled out there. If someone wants to help them out with it, if not, Mason, leave a comment and I will make a note here. And me and Zach will record one. I'll walk you through mine, but remember, all of them are a little bit different. The main thing on an assignment agreement is you have to disclose the assignment fee and you have to disclose the original purchase price. A lot of people are like, well, I don't want to do that. Well, that's how an assignment contract works. It has to be spelled out clearly or you do not have an assignment. So JL says, hey, Rick, are you worried about state and federal regulations stepping in and stopping real estate wholesaling? No. So all states operate independently. So you guys know the argument between federal and state. There's no way they can pass one like anti-wholesaling for the entire country. But, you know, you guys see all the dilemmas going on right now. We have border laws in Texas that's saying, you know, you can't just come in the country illegally, but they let them in all day long. And I think they get $2,000 a pop. So the state thinks it's crazy, but the federal government, all they have to do is enforce the laws on the books. So there's no national, the thing with federal, if there was a national law against wholesaling, then this would be definitely problematic, but there's nothing. And the odds of it passing are slim to none. But keep in mind, there's a certain substance that's banned federally, but I think like 15 or 20 states out of our union, the state endorses it and collects revenue on it. You guys know what I'm talking about. I don't want to talk about it because it's not my area. But it's just like, how screwed up are we when there's a federal law, but the states kind of do their own thing? So federal law will always supersede, but there is nothing against wholesaling, so there's no threat there. So the threat's always going to come from the state level, and that's what you need to focus. So guys, get involved with your state and see what's going on. Pay attention. Like, there's a lot of information. And the way they sneak these bills in, they're like, some like it's really tricky. So I don't even understand how they do all of it. You just got to pay attention to it. So, I'm reading, guys. I'm sorry. So Kaz says, can I separate myself from my license if I wholesale under an LLC only? No. Once you're licensed, you have to license yourself as a person, not as an entity. It gets a little bit more complicated in the brokerage, but they want a human being that they can hold accountable. So if we could do this, we'd all have, I would love to do this, but it won't fly. No way. So good thinking though. I love the creativity of wholesalers because we're always looking for like a workaround. Like, hey, what if I do this and do that? And we can't do that. So, okay. So Cody's got a good question. He says, I've got a potential seller who has a commercial garage repair shop that has been vacant for years and he wants to sell. I can't find comps on PropStream. You're not going to find, because PropStream is not there to teach you how to do comps. So not for a commercial business. That's not, it's meant for single family residential and some condos and townhomes. How would I figure the ARV? This is actually really simple because I've done this exact deal. So number one, find out the condition of the shop. Is it run down? Does it have water? Does it have electric? Are they maintaining the utilities? Number two, is it even slightly showable? Okay. And what you can do is you can market to a repair type of business. There's a ton of people that want to get in the automotive business that don't have a lot of money, like kids that are very skilled coming out of trade schools that would do anything to get a shop they could say that's their own. Now, the question is how you do it. What you have to do is find shop owners and take them out to the property and see what they'd be willing to pay for a lease on it. Don't worry about the value. What you want to focus on is how much income can that property produce. And the only way you can nail a number down is find out what the going rate on it is. It's going to depend on the condition of the property. The good thing is most of these properties like this, almost all of them are sold with some sort of owner financing or creative financing. That's how they sell the shop to the next guy to the next guy. Because most people in these shops for like 20 years and they bought the shop for like 50 grand and now it's worth like 400,000 or 500,000. And if they get like 75, 100 grand out of it, and then they'll carry a note for the balance, it's perfectly common in this type of scenario. So Cody, what you have to do is figure out what the going rate for the shop is. So I would find some sort of forum where people are interested in cars or car repairs. Use Facebook, Instagram, like all the social media stuff, and say, hey, listen, I got a 3,000 square foot building in this town. What do you think the going rate to lease it out for a shop is? And they will tell you, hey, I would pay $5,000 a month for it. Once you have that number, then you can calculate what type of return you want to get it. So without getting too complicated here, you're typically, you find out what the income is, you minus off the expenses, and then you divide it by a what we call a ROI, which is also known as a cap rate, return on investment. So most of these buildings are anywhere between an 8 and a 12%. So if, say, the shop generated a net of $3,000 a month, that would be $36,000. You want to minus off estimated. I take off a month or two for like a vacancy, 1 month. And then I would take off taxes, insurance. So maybe it produces $25,000 a year. And then if you wanted it at a 10 cap rate, which is a good starting place, you divide the 25,000 by that. I'm not a mathematician here. Guys, these little shops all the time, like they're some of my favorite deals to do. So that would put it at a $250,000 value. And remember, that's just an example. Now, this is where your algebra comes in the hand. You can reverse the numbers. You can flip. I was terrible at algebra, so you don't want me to do it. But once you can predict what the cash flow of the property is, you can find a level playing field to comp the property out. Okay. And find out what the guy needs to get out of it. And 9 times out of 10, they'll offer you owner financing to get the deal done. You just got to see what the going rate is, because he probably doesn't know. And then just curious why he'd leave it vacant for 2 years, and see if his motivation aligns with what he's saying. Sometimes people just have family health issues and they can't deal with the shop. But if he couldn't lease it and there's no other shops in the area and businesses leaving town, then that might be a sign there's just no deal at all. Then you can look at possibly doing a conversion to affordable housing or something like that. But I love solving problems like that. So Cody, find out what you can get for a lease on it and figure out what the net number is. And that will give you a starting point on like a type of offer you can make them. Guys, some of my best deals are attorneys and doctors' offices I bought. I've done a church before. Do not limit yourself. You have to open up your eyes and your palate when these things come up. Churches are like a big business. I'm here to tell you, I don't understand how churches are run, but for the most part, they're run nonprofit and they don't have to pay like a certain amount of taxes if they qualify. But some of the decision making in the churches, like they drive the finances into the ground and then they have to sell them. And a lot of churches get foreclosed on when the economies get tight, because everybody has these grand master plans for the church. But if the congregation's not donating or it dwindles, they can't keep up with the payments on the mortgage, and they're typically private mortgages, and that's how they get foreclosed on. Crazy stuff, man. Gloria asks, what should the buyer say in the testimonial? Okay, so I love that you brought this point up. Get the truth. So typically you're going to get the testimonial from the seller, not the buyer. But I never tell people what to say on camera. Hey, if you like what we do, if you could say a kind word, that'd be great. That's it. And they say it. Just like everybody I work on here that, like, you guys that get deals because you took information and you took the action that me and Zach taught you. Have I ever once asked anybody on this stream here to do a testimonial? I don't, because I don't believe in it. Do you ever notice when like you see a lot of influencers like paid courses, you see like 15 positive testimonials? Do you listen? I don't doubt it. The testimonials are great. They're all handpicked though. They're handpicked for a reason, so they sway your decision in buying a course. I don't believe in that, and you guys need to guard your testimonial because it's going to be on the internet forever. So testimonials should be natural. They should be organic, and they should have the full person's name on it, not Dave S. That's a complete BS testimonial, and I don't believe in that. In a perfect world, anybody who had a paid course would be able, here's what I would do, okay? If you want to be completely authentic and transparent, if you have a paid course, go register on Google and let people put in comments. There's no way you're going to get 100% positive comments. Like, it doesn't matter how good or you bad at it. Someone will always have something bad to say. It's just how life works. So if you guys go to Amazon, if a product has 800 reviews and then a similar product has 2 reviews, which one are you going to go with? The one that has 800. Now, of the 800, they're never all going to be 5 stars, but maybe it's 4, maybe 4.25. And you get some negative ones in there. Like if I don't see a few negative comments, I feel like I'm being swindled. So I don't know why gurus, like they are horrified of a negative comment. Dude, I get negative comments all the time. Like it is what it is. You can't control what people say. My problem is when they filter it. That's when I'm like, okay, 15 positive testimonials, not one bad one. Come on. Like let's be authentic here. So if you register Google, it's a neutral site, meaning it's going to take positive and negative comments. And honestly, if you're selling an incredible product, the overwhelming positive comments will drown out the negative ones, and it's authentic. Now, if I see a product that got 100 reviews and they're all 100 perfect reviews, I'm running to the hills. And you guys should do the same too. I'm just saying, testimonials should be authentic and natural. There should never be any swaying on them. And anybody who cherry picks the testimonials, that's just an effort so you'll buy their product. Like that's just how it is. So I love Amazon because they actually, I think it's somewhat neutral. You guys ever see that? I think it's I Trust. Like you ever browsing on somebody's website and it goes, John Smith just bought. I'm out, because they're doing that to sway you, to try to give you the extra confidence to complete the sale. And I'm so tired of this gimmick crap going on the internet like that. If you guys see that, run. Because I've gone back like 10 minutes later and the exact same ones keep popping up. John just bought. Well, I thought John just bought 10 minutes ago. Crazy stuff going on, man. So Quentin's put me on the spot here. So Quentin says, literally put myself in a place where I have 100%, I have to get a deal in 30 days or I'm going to lose everything. I'm in danger. I need help, please. So Quentin, the first thing you need to go is go to freewholesaling.com. You're going to have to learn this thing quick. I don't want anyone to be in this situation. I want people to think like Quentin is, but Quentin sounds like he actually needs help. And can it be done? Yes. Is it the easiest thing? No. What you need to go out is put in a Driving for Dollars campaign and find these people's phone number and call them and do some door knocking, because I like the urgency. I don't like the word danger, and I don't want you to get hurt in this business. So I would go at a Driving for Dollars and a cold calling, and you're going to have to put the pedal to the metal to do it. So I don't know what put you in that situation, but I will put this way, Quentin. You can always reset in life. I think wholesaling will change your trajectory. Wholesaling shouldn't be the complete lifeline when you guys are in a complete jam. If you wait till that point, I'm scared you'll make bad decisions. So anybody that can help them in the comments with that, Quentin, like put your information in there. Is anything we can help you out with? But I already offer a free course, so I'm helping out because I promise you no other guru is going to give you this stuff for free. So check out the courses. We all have over 800 videos, but you only have so much time. I would go find a distressed property and try to get it under contract as soon as possible. So anybody can help them out with them. So guys, if you are new to the channel, everyone's asking me, hey, Rick, how do we do this? Freewholesaling.com is the only free wholesaling course with 25 years experience from someone that actually does this business today, and teach the whole thing for free because I'm on a mission to create a legacy here. And I'm going to change this business. It's ridiculous. You have to pay everybody for everything. At some point, someone just needs to help people out. So me and Zach are the only ones that go 100% free. Now, I didn't say other people don't give out free information. They do. But I'm not using this as a funnel so I can sell you something else. I honestly want to help out as many people as possible. I think wholesaling is simple. It's fundamental, and there's no secrets. It's the exact same techniques we used back in 2002 and 3 with just a couple new technology twists. So back then, the internet was just coming about. There was no YouTube. There was nothing. Why do you guys want to learn wholesaling the way they did 20 years ago? If that's the case, let's go back and get the brick phones, guys. Let's do that. Let's go back and do traditional books like we always did. I love books, but sometimes if I need an instant read or an audio, I'm going to switch up. I take advantage of technology and especially take advantage of my experience. So go to freewholesaling.com, and then and you guys want to get a list, I would definitely use listrei.com. We use it in our business. I pay for a subscription. Guys, we promote this because it saves a ton of time and it's very effective. PropStream is one of the biggest in the business. And if you go to listrei.com, it's simple. You get a 7-day free trial period. Give it a shot. I'm telling you, if you guys seriously want to do this business, it's like having 3 employees working for you, and you get 10,000 leads with it. I highly recommend it. It just works really well. I use it in my business. And honestly, before this, I was a long-time user of CoreLogic with ListSource. And if I told you how much money I spent, you would cringe. And remember, it was more expensive 10, 15 years ago than it is even close to now. I paid 15 cents per lead. You guys do the math on that. You guys run 10,000 lists, that would have cost you a fortune. So really expensive stuff. So, okay, back to comments. I don't like to see people distressed. Wholesaling will change your life, but sometimes if you're put in a pickle, I don't want you to compound a bad decision on another one. And if there's anything I can help out, I think I'm already helping out by offering free. I really want to help you out. But I will tell you this, if you think you're just going to pay a fee and you're magically going to figure out how to do this business, that's a lie on top of a lie, and it shouldn't be that way. Let's see here. So Ed, now you're gonna so Ed's gonna blow our minds with this. So this is good. So can't use the realtor as a buyer's agent or transactional agent or dual agent to deal and compensate the realtor agent that way. Ed, my mind is blown away with this stuff. This is the problem. I'm not a realtor. So if anybody wants to give clarification, I understand transactional. Like the dual agent means you do both sides. And then you kind of have a buyer's agent. Here's the problem, guys. I'm not in realtor world. So now I have to decipher all this information, and it hurts my head. So I agree and I don't agree with you, because I'm not sure. Can't use the realtor as a buyer's agent. Yeah, but you got to pay him. So I don't know how you're going to get around in this scenario. Anybody wants to pipe in and tell me how to do it? I'm wide open, Ed. I'm not trying to act stupid. I don't know all the answers to this. So Aaron asks, are you licensed at? I'm not licensed. I already told you that. My wife's licensed. Cody says, are there any extras? So we talked to him earlier about the repair shop. It's the same. I'm telling you right now, it is the exact same theoretical steps as you would do on a traditional single family house. The only thing might be a little bit is a contract, but I got to be honest with you. If it's just a garage building that they repair cars in, it's not complicated. You can use, you can find someone to get you a commercial contract. Just gets rid of the word single family residential in it. That's all it does. And most businesses, so you can use a traditional single family home residence, I would just put in a lot of extra verbiage in the addendum part. I would probably put a 90-day inspection period because that's the norm in the business. I've seen as little as 60, but 90, because you got to do a lot of due diligence. So if you start out with a contract to see the seller's motivation is real and authentic, I would just start out using a regular contract and put everything in the addendum. And then if it gets real, then you could take that contract and have somebody help you write a more of a legitimate commercial contract. But once again, you got to see if they're motivated. Do not waste your time doing all that other stuff. So thanks, Mark. I appreciate you. I'm not even going to go over that comment. Wholesaling. So Russian Eskimo, what's up, man? I love the name, by the way. I've seen you on here before. So wholesaling on market seems easier due to the zero marketing part. Same time, usually we need a lockbox. Can we just ask to use the agent lockbox to inspection? Do agents accept earnest money deposit after inspection? Listen, everything's negotiable. So I agree with it. But remember, when you work with real estate agents, you've got to honor their practices, their methods, because the minute you try to run them over, they're not going to want to work with you anymore. Adam says we 100% sell the rights to the contract. You guys got to understand that, because I got to be honest, when I started out, nobody even talked about that. Like, it was said, but like, we just showed pictures, and I'm guilty of what everyone's saying. So if I'm guilty, why am I going to sit here and give you a lecture on how you do it? I want you to do it the right way. I do, but I'm not going to be this high and holier person telling you, you've now everybody's got to get licensed because you've all screwed it up. The reality is, so many educators have gone out and sold a course on how easy this business is. They've propagated this problem, but guess who wants to give you the cure for it? Figure it out, guys. Like, I don't understand. Either sell a real estate. I don't have sell a real estate course, but please don't sell me every solution on how to make wholesaling not illegal, because it's not illegal. 2 states, it's illegal right now. Yes, there's a trend that they're writing it towards it. So should we all just run and hide and just like nobody wholesale anymore? Oh no, there's a possible fear of it. Guys, when you get in your car, you run the risk of dying in a car accident every day. It's just the truth. But you don't sit there and focus on it 24/7. You go about and do your business and deal with it. Sound similar to like stuff we're dealing with society now? We have to go out and live our lives, guys. This fear and like, oh my God. And my favorite are these thumbnails. Oh my God, wholesaling is illegal. It's not. It's 2 out of 48 states, guys. It ain't coming to Florida. I ain't even slightly worried about it. So I would love to hear from everyone on this, on what your state's stance is on this. So there was a questionnaire put out in Texas, and somehow every post I see now, it's going to be illegal in Texas. It's going to be illegal. Like, guys, we got to stop this. Like, I heard, he said, she said, I don't know what the bill is, but I think NAR does not sponsor bills. That's just an uneducated person when you say that. They can't. It has to be sponsored by a politician. End of story. They have to be reputable and put out the bill. Scott agrees with me. I don't want people who have kids, a responsibility, a mortgage, just to quit your job for this dream for wholesaling. That's fine. You can work on your dream, and you could take 6 months to a year and make it happen. The minute wholesaling, your job becomes a distraction to wholesaling, and wholesaling is paying the bills, that you will know when to switch. I promise you. But people who dive in head first, you get stuck, because I don't know if you're going to get a deal in 2 weeks, 2 months, or even a year. It depends on your market, your tenacity, and how persistent you're going to be. So, okay. Let's go, guys. Let's open this up. Let's have fun with it. So Bailey says, I think it's to my advantage to get a license because of all the new regulations that are coming. Guys, what do you think about this? Like, Bailey, I appreciate you making the comment. All the new regulations that are coming, where are they coming from? What state? What bill? I'm just telling you, 2 out of 48. I was told in 2002 I should get a license in Florida. It's coming. Guys, it's 2022, and for verification on my live, it is what? 2:18 at 5:48 p.m. Okay? Exactly 20 years when I started this business, I was told I really need to get a license because regulation's coming. Do you know how much that would have cost me? I would have spent probably, I don't know, $300,000, $400,000 to protect the what if. Bailey, it's up to you. Like, I respect your decision. Do what makes you feel comfortable. I'm just telling you, you have obligations when you get a license financially, disclosures, working with the broker, commission splits, assignment splits. There's a lot of stuff you have to take into consideration doing and understanding you're going to be taught how to become a real estate agent, not a wholesaler. So if you're doing it to avoid like a legal thing, unless it's illegal in your state, you're not avoiding anything. You're just creating more obligations. But remember, it's an opinion, guys. I respect both sides of it. If you want to expand on it, Bailey, keep posting because the only bad question you ask is the one you don't ask. So, so Ben says, if I post an assignment deal on Facebook and I clearly state the assignment and I am marketing the contract, is that enough disclosure not to get bonked? If I post my assignment deals on Facebook, so it's not, the assignment's not the problem. So it's marketing a property you don't own is the problem. Okay. And I'm not here to get into like the equitable interest argument. That's like lawyer stuff. I have a theory on it, but I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to tell you how I feel about that. So if you have the ability to control, close on a property and stuff like that, there's some properties that have more of an equitable interest than others. But remember, you have to perfect equitable interest. For the most part, most people do assignment agreements. They don't perfect it. It's just the truth. I watch this every day. And I've been taken down for it, meaning I didn't really get equitable interest. So if you ever had a challenge, it would be a problem. So Ben, where they get you is marketing a property you don't own. That's the one threshold that this real estate license thing is holding on. If you have a license, then you can represent other people's properties. And that, honestly, that's the one caveat. I wish I could fix it with a magic wand. All us wholesalers are in it together. So we get clever, right? We sell contracts. It's legally perfectly. Banks sell contracts all the time. They assign your mortgage all the time. They'll never get rid of the assignment because it would screw up a lot of the insurance business, the banking business. So it comes down to what NAR wants to get control of. And the assignment part's never the problem. It's when you show the physical asset with pictures, that's where you have a FREC violation, and that's where you can get in trouble. So that's not going to cover you on that part of it. What's up, Ryan? Befriend realtors, even if you don't have a license, you can leverage their cash buyers. Don't have to get your license. Realtors are great for dispo. Dude, it's 100% correct. He is absolutely right. And you know what? If Ryan gets to the point where his state forces him to get a license, otherwise he's at risk doing business, meaning he'll get massive fines, he's just going to get the license and move on. Ryan's a smart guy. He's doing business. He understands that, guys. Getting a license, just do it or don't. Like, dude, like, don't do it for like, I'm getting ahead of the curve. I was told to get ahead of the curve 20 years ago. It never came, guys. It never came. I'm telling you, here in Florida, it's not coming. I'm sorry. But if you want to do the commission side and you want to do that, then get your license. But like, be honest with yourself. Don't let someone tell you, hey, they're going to ban wholesaling. You got to get your license. Ridiculous. I agree. I agree with everything Ryan says. He's 100% right. So Ryan says, would love to take on wholesaling on market properties. Are we missing out on money or not doing markets? Listen, once you get skilled in this game, which like Ryan, like you guys have done a phenomenal job. It's up to you where you want to go with it. I'm not going to teach. So on market properties is a much more advanced strategy, and you really got to talk the talk with other realtors. I wouldn't be responsible if I trained you to do on market properties because it's not for everybody. In some markets, it's really, really tough. So it's really challenging in my local market for it because now I do them, but I have a lot of experience doing it, and I network with realtors, and for that reason. But Ryan, you are more than qualified to do it. Um, every market is different. So what I teach here is probably not going to work as effective in your market. So you got to speak the realtor language, and you got to have some honesty with them. You got to kind of let them know what you're doing. You cannot surprise realtors because that's how deals blow up. So now I will tell you, on-market properties work really well when the real estate market is burning. It's easy. Okay. There's only one other time that I used on-market properties a lot, and that was from 2009, a little bit 2008 to 2012. It was like shooting fish in a barrel. Honestly, you didn't even have to do a lot of marketing. Nothing sold on MLS. Guys, that's a rare time. But these times are going to come around. We got some hiccups coming in 2023. I don't see much for 2022, but like this part, guys, this party's been going on since 2012. 8, 9, 8, what, 10 years plus. 10 years. So anybody who gives you a prediction what's going to happen in the market is completely lying to you. I thought for sure when the pandemic hit that our market was going to take a dive, and it did the complete opposite. So I'm reminded and I'm humbled every day. Anybody who gives you a prediction on the market now is completely lying to you. Like, they just don't know. So there's only one person knows upstairs. To be honest with you, with interest rates going to creep up, every time interest rates creep up, people can afford less of a home. So eventually, I would just watch your inventory levels in your local board of realtor. You guys have an association of realtors, and fortunately, that data is usually lagging 90 days behind. But I do track that data, and I watch the inventory carefully. And I look at it once a quarter. That's all I look at it. And if I see the number keep going up and up, and they raise interest rates, I'm not a rocket scientist here, but like I know what's going to happen. The more they raise interest rates, the less people can afford in a mortgage, and it's going to put pressure on prices. And then if you see inventory rise, that's where once that inventory number gets up to an acceptable level of 7 to 9 months inventory, which is a normal market. Guys, just so the average inventory in a market's been less than 3 months, which is like unheard of for way too long. So watch those numbers, guys. You don't need the news or anybody else to tell you. You don't need a guru to tell you. You don't need me to tell you. Watch your inventory levels and watch the average prices. And when you see 3 or 4 interest rate hikes and inventory starts to go up, the handwriting's on the wall. What's going to happen? So, but I don't know how long it's going to happen or like what's going to happen. Like, especially once midterms hit, because usually when you get midterms is nobody wants to change and rock the boat. So things could stay status quo another 2 years, or the whole ship could get rocked. I have no idea. It's crazy. So Sean puts one up here. So I appreciate the comment. Says, I'm a 9-to-5 making 6 figures as a mechanical engineer. And thank you, because not everybody has to be like this rocket science or anything like that. He says, I just don't feel totally, I don't feel secure. I need to get this done for sure. So guys, some of the people I've worked with, some of my good friends, they're firefighters, they're EMTs, they're techs. And so like they'll have like 2 or 3 days on and they get 4 days off. Oh my God, it's perfect for wholesaling when you do it like that. Plus, if you can get benefits from another job, the only thing I tell you, Sean, is if you have responsibilities, spouse, kids, the whole 9 yards, taking care of mom or dad, just please don't leave those people on the altar to go pursue wholesaling. Use wholesaling as a lever to launch you. And when your mechanical engineering becomes a distraction because you're making so much more in wholesaling, let the decision be natural, because people who dive off the ship, scary stuff. If I could go back in time, I would have started this entire business when I was like 16. I can't though. I started when I was 33. So you guys know how this game is played. I tried to follow the rules by my parents. It didn't work. It just didn't work. And because of that, I decided to make a change. And this is what Sean's talking about is There's no feel. I hate that feeling of the insecurity, and I know exactly what you're feeling about. And if you guys are feeling that and pit in your stomach and wholesaling resonates with you, do me a favor. Just go over to freewholesaling.com, check it out. I promise you this, it's 100% free. A lot of people are like, hey, Rick, it's a gimmick. It's not, dude. I've been doing this for over a year. I make plenty of money wholesaling. I just did a deal on a single family home that is and it was a great, I got to get the final numbers with Zach. It was insane. Okay. I did no rehab. I found the deal, put it together, put it on the market in 62 days. I made a more than six-figure profit, a very, very high six-figure profit. And like, we do these deals on a regular basis. I don't show the checks. I don't do that anymore because I've done this. I've done this 20 years. So, but I'm happy to share the details on it. I'll document it and show you everything just to show you it's real. And not every deal's like that. I do deals 10, 15 grand all the time. They just don't excite me anymore. Like I just treat them as a transaction. I move on. I don't even talk about them. But you do 4 or 5 of those, they really pay the bills. John, you want to make a difference. The biggest thing you can get from wholesaling, I'm telling you, is the freedom was more important to me than the money. But the money came along with it. So I'm here to tell you, you can do it. Just make sure you dive off that ship correctly. And guys, that is it. We've been on like 2 hours right now. I appreciate you guys hopping on. It's Friday night, guys. Go out, get the wholesaling. Go to freewholesaling.com. Dive in, deep dive. It's absolutely free. And I will see you next week, guys. I appreciate your time and have a blessed weekend. See you guys.